Hey guys, what is up? So today I am going to be doing another old sketchbook tour. A while ago I did a old sketchbook tour on my channel and it was pretty popular, and I also did a current sketchbook tour which has also been really popular, so I want to say thank you for the support on all of those videos. I'm currently working on my sketchbook right now, so there probably isn't going to be like another recent sketchbook tour for a little while, but I do have a lot of old sketchbooks to show you guys, so I decided to do another one today. So today's sketchbook is this old Canson XL mixed media sketchbook. I remember back in the day when I did this sketchbook, it felt like every art YouTuber was using this sketchbook or use the sketchbook in their sketchbook tours, which is why I decided to pick it up at the time. This was actually the sketchbook I used prior to the sketchbook I showed in my first old sketchbook video, so this one is like a few months older than that one. This sketchbook was started before I discovered the sketchbook brand I use now, and at the time I was looking for like a good sketchbook for markers, and a lot of people were saying this was pretty good, so I decided to pick it up. As for my opinion on the sketchbook, I don't think it's a bad sketchbook, but it definitely wasn't my favorite. There are some positives to it, like I do really like the size of the sketchbook of like the paper. I think it's really good, and I will say that the paper in here is really nice and thick. However, the sketchbook is really heavy, and part of that is just probably because it's like a mixed media sketchbook, but for me personally, I like to travel with my sketchbooks, so having a sketchbook that's really heavy just wasn't really good for me. And another problem I had with it was the pages are made to tear out, kind of, as you can like see on the border here. And so what would happen is I have a really heavy hand while I draw, so I would try to draw something or erase something and the pages would start ripping out. So what I actually had to do, which I'll show when I open the sketchbook, is I actually had to go through and like tape all of the edges so that the pages wouldn't fall out when I was drawing. But enough of me talking, let's get into the actual sketchbook itself. So as you can see, I started this sketchbook in July 2nd of 2016 and I ended it on November 2nd of 2016. So this was almost exactly 2 years ago, which is kind of crazy because my art's definitely evolved a lot since then. So the first thing I have in here is a loose drawing, and this is a drawing I did of Becky Lynch, and the reason this drawing like isn't in the sketchbook because this is the drawing I took when I actually went to meet her 2 years ago, which was pretty crazy. It was really awesome. I got to meet her. I didn't get a picture because I was like one of the last people like in the line, so they were kind of like rushing everybody, but she was extremely nice and really supportive of my art at the time, so she signed it right here, and I meant to frame this and I just like never got around to it. I feel like this drawing is pretty representative of my style back then though, so if you kind of want to get a sense of how the drawings are going to be in this sketchbook, I feel like this drawing's a good example. And it's kind of crazy because I remember being like really proud of this drawing. I also very recently did a speed drawing of Becky Lynch on my channel, so if you'd like to see how I draw her in my updated style, I will put a link to that video down below. But here was the introductory page. Here was my first like real drawing in the sketchbook. It's a drawing I did of Dean Ambrose, and I believe this is when he was WWE champion, and there were a lot of rumors going around saying that like he was gonna drop the title soon, and I really wanted to draw him with it before he lost it, so this was my attempt at that. As you can see, my gel pen that I was using at the time was not the best, so a lot of the metallic detail that I did was kind of messy. You'll also see that a lot of my drawings in here were done on like other pieces of paper, and then I would kind of like paste them into the sketchbook because I liked my sketchbooks having drawings on like both pages, but obviously with marker it's like not always possible because you have like a lot of this. Here's a drawing I did of Steve Rogers, aka Captain America. I remember drawing this on 4th of July and I was like, oh, I'm gonna draw Captain America, and as you can see, I was still learning how to like draw noses at the time, so a lot of their noses are gonna look really weird, I'm sorry, as well as the face. I was experimenting a lot with my style at the time. It's so funny to me because I remember being incredibly proud of this drawing at the time, and now I kind of look back on it and I'm just like, what was I thinking? This was so bad. Also, just a really quick memo, I'm sorry if you hear any like background noise. I have my dog in the room with me, and my brother is on with his friends, so if you hear any like noises in the background, that's probably why. This was when I wanted to draw some Disney characters, and I also wanted to try out a new pen I got, so I decided to draw some Pluto. And here's a drawing of the governor. I drew this when I was binge watching The Walking Dead on Netflix, and I wanted to do some Walking Dead fan art. Here was me doing some doodles in like the summer classes I took, again trying out that new pen. And this was a drawing I did at my friend's house at the time. She had like these nice markers, so I was trying them out. Here I wanted to attempt to do like a fashion illustration, kind of full body design, so I drew some Princess Leia, and you could see how that turned out. This is a drawing I did, I believe around the time a lot of the original cast of Hamilton was leaving, so I wanted to do kind of some Hamilton inspired art. So I drew this one of like Eliza with like the fire, and it was like with the quote, "I'm watching it burn." Yeah, that's my bad singing. But I do actually kind of like the concept of this. I just think obviously the execution maybe wasn't the best, but I do kind of maybe want to redraw this, so if you guys would be interested in that, feel free to let me know. Here is this evil kind of mermaid drawing I did. I remember I did this for like a collab I think I was doing with like my friend. We were both like, oh yeah, we're gonna draw mermaids, and I drew this girl and I remember really liking it at the time. And I tried redrawing it a year later, and I remember not liking the redraw like as much, so maybe I'll try redoing this in the future. So if you guys would like to see me do that, let me know. Here's a drawing that I put in here. It's really old compared to the rest of the stuff. As you can see, this was done in January 15 of 2016, so this was like I think earlier in the year, but I really wanted something to just put in here, so I put that in there. This was a drawing I did of Finn Balor, and I really liked to draw him in like his demon kind of form, so I used to draw him like that a lot. And then I drew some Rey, and this was for a art trade I was doing at the time. Here was a drawing of Bailey I did. I believe this was before a pay-per-view or something like that. Here was a drawing of Joker that I was doing. I was trying out some new markers and stuff I had gotten. This was also before the new Suicide Squad movie had come out, so this is before people like thought it was like really bad and people were like hyping it up and were like really excited for it, so I did like a lot of Suicide Squad fan art in this sketchbook. Here was me attempting to draw Seth Rollins because he was my favorite wrestler at the time, and you know what? 2 years later, he's still my favorite wrestler. And then I remember doing this drawing in that summer class I was taking, and I remember thinking, you know what, this can actually kind of look like Marionette from Miraculous Ladybug, so I basically just kind of colored it to make it look like her. And then this was me attempting to draw in my friend's art style, except for it looked nothing like her art style at the time, so we have that problem. And then down here, I tried to draw the Harry Potter like house animals, like their little house scarves, if that makes sense. So like the Gryffindor lion with like a Gryffindor scarf, and like the Hufflepuff badger with like a Hufflepuff scarf. And then here was me just doodling some little Peridot faces. Here it was me trying to draw Team Cap and Team Iron Man, except for I remember this turning out really bad at the time, and looking back now I still think it's really bad. Here was just kind of like an original character design I was doing. And then here was a drawing I did of Nikki Bella because the Bella twins were like really popular around this time. Again, it's just really wild looking back on my old art because I remember really liking this drawing at the time. Here are some drawings I did when my friend decided to give us all art lessons. So she taught us how to draw eyes, lips, and a full body. And then here was a drawing I did of Harley Quinn. This was, I believe, the day before I went to go see the movie, and it's actually kind of funny because I recently did a drawing of Harley that was like really similar to this. And then I believe this was after I had seen the movie, and I really wanted to draw Katana because I thought she was really cool. So I drew her the first time, and I remember not really liking this drawing, so I wanted to like redraw her again. So I ended up drawing her a second time, time, and this was the result of that. And then here was a drawing of AJ Lee because she will forever be one of my favorite women's wrestlers. And then here was a drawing of Ahsoka I did because whenever I don't know what to draw, I draw Ahsoka Tano, and I wanted to draw her in her Rebels form. And then here was my attempt at drawing Charlotte at the time. And then over here we have some concept art for a character. Me and my friend were going to make this series together, and then I did one concept design for her, and then I don't think we like ever worked on it again. Here's a drawing I did of Rose Quartz, and then here's a drawing I did of Connie from Steven Universe, just trying to practice drawing those action poses. And then this was me attempting to draw Roman Reigns. Oh my gosh, what was I doing? And then here's a drawing I did of another one of my favorite wrestlers, Naomi, and I actually remember her reposting this drawing on her Instagram, which was really cool. Here's a drawing I did of Queen Amidala. I feel like I draw her in every few of my sketchbooks, so this was that drawing in this one. And then this is when Rusev and Lana had like just gotten married, and I think Lana was holding like an art contest or something on Instagram, and I wanted to enter, so I drew Rusev and Lana. Here's me drawing Loki because I really loved drawing his helmet. It was like so fun to draw, so I used to draw him a lot. And then here was me attempting to do expressions with Seth Rollins, and I remember thinking this was like really cute at the time. And then according to this sketchbook, these were doodles I did on the first day of school. So, and then this is when AJ Styles was doing that gimmick where he was like going around with John Cena's like armband thing, and he was like wearing it on his head, and he was like, I am the face that runs the place, so I drew him with that. And then here's some cute little Sven because I loved him in Frozen. He's adorable. I have a plush of him. I think that's like what I referenced this drawing based off of. And then here was me attempting to practice drawing hair. And then here was a OC kind of character design I was doing, something very fall inspired with very fall colors. Here was me drawing Becky Lynch after she won the SmackDown Women's Championship, and again it's just really crazy because I did a drawing of Becky like yesterday, and it's just really crazy how much seeing how I've improved in 2 years. Here was just another original character kind of design thing. This was me drawing Sheamus, and then here's me drawing some more AJ Lee, and then here is some Bucky Barnes / Winter Soldier because he is another staple that you see in a lot of my sketchbooks. Here was a drawing for Inktober, and I was following a few different prompts. I kind of just like picked and choose which ones I like, so this was one for multiple eyes. Here was me attempting to do another Inktober prompt, and I think this was like the last prompt I did, and so I drew this little witch girl. And then here's a little drawing of the original Harley Quinn, and then here is a drawing of Chris Jericho back when he was doing the list of Jericho thing for like the first time. And then here's me attempting to draw hands, and I still can't draw hands. This was some original character thing I like started working on, and I just like never finished it. Here is a Princess Leia drawing I did, and then here was a drawing I did of Wonder Woman. It's obviously not my best. I've improved a lot since then. And then here's a little drawing I did of my dog in a caterpillar costume that she used to have for Halloween. Here, I believe I did these drawings after the season 7 premiere of The Walking Dead, so I drew these little memorial drawings. So I drew Abraham and I drew Glenn. And then this is going to be the last drawing I show in this sketchbook. It's the last drawing in the sketchbook in total. I did skip over some drawings too that like I just didn't really want to show on camera, but this was a drawing I did of Charlotte when she was Raw Women's Champion, and so I really wanted to do a drawing of her, so I drew her in one of her robes, and I drew the little crown on her because she is the queen. As you can see here, I kind of abandoned this sketchbook after a while because I just really didn't like it anymore, and I wanted to try out the new sketchbook I got, which I liked that brand and just that paper a lot better. But I do like the paper in here. I might like try ripping out a page and maybe like try using it for watercolor. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you do, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, maybe comment. That'd really make my day. But yeah, so I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!